A motorhome just rolled into a campsite in China, came to a stop, and then did something a vehicle isn't supposed to do. It grew a second floor. Glass walls rose straight up out of the roof. A balcony unfolded on the side, and from somewhere inside, a person stepped into an elevator and rode it down to the ground floor. That is not a rendering. That is not a concept vehicle sitting under studio lighting at an auto show. That machine drives on public roads right now, and it costs less than half of what several other vehicles on this list charge. And here's the part that should really catch you off guard. That rolling apartment with an elevator inside it still had to fight for the #1 spot on this list, because the competition includes a motorhome that turns into a functioning boat the second its tires touch water. One with a hydraulic garage that carries an actual Bugatti inside it. One shaped by the same design studio responsible for the Ferrari 458, and one with a certified helipad on the roof where a real helicopter can land. 9 motorhomes, 9 completely different answers to the same question. How far can a vehicle actually be pushed before it stops being a vehicle and starts being something else entirely? Before we count these down, if you're into breakdowns like this, hit the like button. These take a serious amount of digging to put together, and every like helps this reach more people who genuinely enjoy it. Subscribe too, so you don't miss what's coming next. Some of these are going to make you question your entire definition of luxury. Some are going to make you wonder how an engineer even landed on the idea in the first place. And by the time we hit #1, you'll understand exactly why one country just quietly rewrote the rules for an entire industry. Let's get into it. Number 9. The Romotow T8. New Zealand is one of those places that looks slightly unreal in person. Mountains that look painted on, fjords that stretch out further than seems physically reasonable, beaches that feel completely untouched by anyone. So when a New Zealand architecture firm spent 11 years designing a motorhome, they weren't chasing comfort as the finish line. They were trying to build something that actually deserved to sit inside that kind of landscape. On the move, the Romotow T8 doesn't even look like a motorhome. It reads more like a smooth, sealed aerodynamic pod being towed down the highway. Compact, clean, almost secretive about what it actually is. Then it parks, and in under a minute, the entire inner cabin physically rotates 90 degrees outward. Not a panel folding out, not a window sliding open. The whole living space itself turns. What was a closed, sealed pod becomes an L-shaped home with a covered outdoor terrace, a fold-out table, synthetic wood flooring underfoot, and side panels engineered to block wind from every direction at once. The windows curve 270 degrees around the interior, so wherever you happen to be sitting, the landscape wraps around you like you're sitting inside the scenery itself rather than just parked next to it. The design language is minimalist, distinctly Scandinavian. Clean lines, nothing ornamental, nothing wasted. The co-founder has described it as a vehicle meant to last over 50 years and get passed down through a family, generation to generation. At a starting price of $268,500, it stops being a purchase in the ordinary sense. It becomes an heirloom that happens to also be street legal. There's something worth sitting with here before we move on. Most motorhome manufacturers treat the vehicle as a box you tow behind you, a container for sleeping and cooking that happens to have wheels. The Romotow team came at it from the opposite direction entirely, treating the vehicle the way an architect treats a plot of land. What does this specific site deserve, and how do you build something worthy of standing there? That's a fundamentally different design brief, and it shows in every decision, from the rotating cabin down to the 50-year design lifespan. As beautiful and clever as the Romotow is, the next vehicle on this list does something no rotating cabin or curved window could ever compete with. It drives straight into a lake. Number 8. The Terra wind. John Gilliam never went to college. He never sat in an engineering lecture hall. He grew up in South Carolina, learning how to keep tractors running, and somewhere along the way, he quietly built the only motorhome on Earth that also happens to be a fully functioning boat. The Terra wind stretches 13 meters long and weighs 16 tons. Hidden underneath its luxury exterior is a military-grade aluminum hull built directly into the base of the vehicle, not bolted on as an afterthought, but engineered into the frame from the ground up. When it reaches the edge of a lake or river, the driver doesn't stop, park, and switch vehicles. The driver engages a marine transmission that redirects power from a 330 horsepower Caterpillar engine straight to two bronze propellers mounted at the rear, and the entire vehicle glides into the water at 7 knots. While it's floating, the interior feels exactly like a yacht that never needed water to arrive. Marble flooring, teak cabinetry, and an 8-jet jacuzzi positioned so you can soak while watching open water drift by. It's the kind of interior you'd expect from a vessel that spent its entire life on the sea, not one that was driving down a highway on rubber tires an hour earlier. Building something like this isn't just a matter of bolting a hull onto a chassis. A vehicle designed to survive highway speeds, potholes, and years of road vibration has completely different structural demands than a hull designed to survive water pressure and remain watertight for decades. Gilliam had to design something that satisfies both sets of demands at once, without either function compromising the other, which is a large part of why nobody else in the world has successfully copied it. Pricing lands between $850,000 and $1.2 million for a single vehicle that completely erases the question of whether your next trip should be a road trip or a boat trip. Framed that way, the number starts to make a strange kind of sense. From a vehicle that drives directly into water, we move to vehicles that reach straight up toward the sky. Number 7. The Furrion Elysium, the one with the helipad. In 2004, 3 engineers who had spent their entire careers building megayachts sat down and asked a genuinely odd question. What would a motorhome look like if it were designed with the same level of ambition normally reserved for a 100-foot yacht? They founded Furrion, and 13 years later, in 2017, they revealed the answer: the Elysium. It stretches 45 feet long, finished in metallic gray, and carries a working helipad built directly into its roof. Not a flat decorative surface added for marketing photos, but a certified functional landing pad rated to carry a Robinson R-22 helicopter. You can genuinely fly to your own motorhome, but the roof isn't just a landing zone. It's split into 3 separate functional areas: a lounge space where you can sit outside as the sun goes down, a 2-person hot tub, and the retractable helipad itself, which folds neatly out of the way when it's not needed, so the rest of the rooftop stays fully usable as living space. Inside, that same yacht-level mentality continues throughout. 3 75-inch 4K televisions, a working fireplace, a wine cellar, a full steam shower, the kind of interior detail that makes a 5-star hotel suite feel like it wasn't really trying. Furrion never put the Elysium up for standard retail sale. Estimates place its value somewhere between $2.5 and $3.5 million. It exists less as a product you simply order and more as a proof of concept for what happens when engineers stop asking, "Is this reasonable?" and start asking, "Is this possible?" The answer, apparently, was yes. The next builder on this list took that exact same question and pushed it somewhere even more theatrical. Number 6. Anderson Mobil Estates, The Heat, Hollywood's home on 22 wheels. Sylvester Stallone was the one who made the call. He'd already seen what Anderson Mobil Estates was capable of building, and when Will Smith needed a home base while filming Men in Black 3, Stallone pointed him in exactly one direction. Will Smith listened, and he ended up spending $2.5 million on something called the Heat. The Heat rolls on 22 wheels. On the highway, moving at speed, it reads as an impressive but not especially shocking premium trailer. Then it parks, and 8 hydraulic pistons begin lifting the entire roof of the vehicle upward. A full second floor unfolds from above, and what was a single-story trailer instantly becomes a 2-story structure. That second floor is a private cinema, 30 seats, full screening capability, the kind of room you'd expect inside a boutique film club tucked into a city center, except it's now sitting on top of a vehicle, parked in whatever lot a film crew called home that particular week. Down on the ground floor, roughly $300,000 worth of custom leather covers nearly every surface in the vehicle. The bathroom alone costs $25,000 to build and features a glass door that turns completely opaque at the push of a single button, not frosted, not lightly tinted, fully opaque, on demand, in under a second. Will Smith actually lived in the Heat on location, both during Men in Black 3 and while filming The Pursuit of Happiness. Today, if you want to experience it for yourself, the Heat is available to rent in Elgin, Texas for $9,000 a night. From a Hollywood icon's pop-up cinema on wheels, we shift toward vehicles built not for film sets, but for people who need to bring their entire car collection along with them wherever they go. Number 5. The Marchi Mobil eleMMent Palazzo Superior, $3 million of hand-built ambition. When the eleMMent Palazzo Superior comes toward you on a highway, your brain genuinely needs a second to process what it's actually looking at. The windshield is circular, pulled directly from helicopter cockpit design. The wheel covers stretch 36 inches wide, borrowed straight out of race car engineering. The entire silhouette looks like it was sketched by someone who had never once seen a conventional motorhome and was handed zero restrictions. The Austrian firm Marchi Mobil built this by pulling from 3 completely unrelated industries at once: motorsport, aviation, and luxury yachting. No single one of those worlds was enough on its own to get there. The finished vehicle costs $3 million and takes between 8 and 10 months to complete for each individual buyer. There's no assembly line involved anywhere in the process. Every single unit is built entirely by hand, from scratch, for one specific customer. The feature that separates it from almost everything else on this list is the Sky Lounge. At the push of a single button, a fully enclosed terrace rises straight up out of the roof, and it arrives already finished, with its walls already in place, its furniture already positioned, and radiant heating already running through the floor beneath your feet. You push one button, and an entire furnished room appears above you, out of nothing. That hand-built approach also means no 2 units are ever quite identical. Every buyer works directly with the design team to adjust layout, materials, and finish, which is part of why the waiting list stretches out for months before a single panel gets cut. It's closer to commissioning a custom yacht than ordering a vehicle off a lot. Inside, the master bedroom is built around a king-size bed made by Hypnos. If that name doesn't mean much to you, Hypnos is the official bed supplier to the British royal family, the same standard of mattress found inside Buckingham Palace, sitting instead inside a motorhome parked in a field somewhere in Austria. $3 million, 8 to 10 months of build time, one vehicle at a time. That's the Palazzo Superior, and it would easily be the most obsessive entry on this entire list, if it weren't for the one that comes right after it. Number 4, the Volkner Mobil Performance S, the motorhome with a Bugatti inside it. There's a very specific, very narrow problem that only an extremely small number of people on Earth actually face. You own a Bugatti Chiron. You want to take a long road trip, but you can't exactly park a multi-million-dollar hypercar at a roadside campsite and feel comfortable walking away from it for the night. So what do? Volkner, out of Germany, answered that question, And the answer is exactly as extravagant as it sounds. The Performance S has a hydraulic garage built directly into the side of the vehicle. A platform slides outward from the body of the motorhome, and sitting inside that platform is enough space for a full-size supercar. A Bugatti Chiron fits, a Porsche 911 fits, a Ferrari 458 fits. The car rides inside the motorhome fully protected until you reach wherever you're going. Once the car rolls out onto the platform, that same platform instantly converts into an outdoor terrace. You can sit right there, drink in hand, taking in the view. When you're finished, the car rolls back in, the platform retracts smoothly into the body of the vehicle, and you drive on to the next stop. Engineering a hydraulic platform strong enough to safely deploy and retract a 2-ton hypercar, while keeping the entire structure watertight, road legal, and stable at highway speed, is a genuinely different problem than building a normal cargo bay. Volkner essentially had to solve 2 vehicles worth of structural engineering and fold them into one chassis, which goes a long way toward explaining why nobody else has seriously attempted it. The interior of the motorhome itself carries a Burmester audio system that alone costs $55,000. The furniture is built from macassar wood, the same material found in private jets and high-end yacht interiors. Nothing inside this vehicle was chosen because it was affordable. Everything was chosen because it was simply the best available option, full stop. The total package, Bugatti included, lands at approximately $7.7 million. The garage alone costs more than the entire living space around it, a sentence that somehow makes complete, logical sense once you understand exactly what this vehicle actually is. From a motorhome that carries a supercar inside it, we move into the world of designers who normally build machines that travel at 200 miles an hour, not 20. Number 3. 1. Pininfarina designed the Ferrari 458 Italia. Pininfarina shaped the Maserati Gran Turismo. When Pininfarina puts its name on a project, the entire automotive industry stops and pays attention, because their work doesn't just look beautiful, it tends to change how people think about what's even possible in the first place. In 2024, they revealed the AS Future ET, a fully electric motorhome with no combustion engine, no exhaust system, and no engine noise at all. While it's moving, the only sound is the quiet hum of the electric motors and the road passing underneath the tires. When it parks, the only sound is the slide-out walls extending outward and the world around you settling into silence. Those walls, once fully extended, open the interior up to 37 square meters of living space. That's roughly the floor area of a small apartment in Paris or Milan, not a tight, cramped RV interior where you shuffle sideways past the kitchen to reach the bed, but a genuine apartment on wheels that simply drove itself to your campsite. The detail that genuinely reframes what off-grid travel even means is the water system. The AS Future ET pulls humidity directly out of the surrounding air and converts it into clean drinking water, up to 50 liters of it, every single day. Park this vehicle in the middle of a desert, run the system overnight, and wake up with enough fresh water to cook, drink, and wash. No hookup, no supply line, no tank that needs refilling anywhere. The air around the vehicle simply becomes the resource. The stationary base version starts at $98,000, and a fully drivable version was slated for production in 2025. A Ferrari designer building a zero-emission motorhome that manufactures its own drinking water out of thin air would, in almost any other year, be the single most forward-thinking entry on this entire list. But 2 vehicles remain, and together they represent something bigger than any one company's individual vision. Number 2. The DTL RV Carbonliner 78. Carbon fiber at a price nobody expected. In August 2023, A group of engineers from China's Sichuan province did something that got almost no attention at the time, but left a lasting impression on everyone who actually witnessed it. They loaded up 3 motorhomes and drove them 13,200 kilometers to Düsseldorf, Germany, a distance most people would simply book a flight for. They drove it instead, because arriving in the vehicles they were about to present made a statement no trade show booth could ever replicate. Their destination was the Caravan Salon, the single most important motorhome trade show on the planet, the event where the European manufacturers who had built and defined this entire industry for decades gathered every year to show off what they'd been working on. And into that room walked a team from Sichuan in motorhomes they had built themselves. A year later, they returned with the Carbonliner 78. The body of this motorhome is made from carbon fiber, not carbon fiber trim on a conventional panel, not a carbon fiber accent stamped onto the hood for effect. The entire body structure itself, the same material used in Formula One chassis and military fighter jets, built into a production motorhome priced above $150,000. At that price point, no other manufacturer on the planet offers a genuine carbon fiber body. It's lighter than conventional construction materials, stronger under stress, and far more resistant to the kind of long-term wear that ordinary road travel inflicts over years of use. For decades, the unspoken assumption inside that industry was simple. European brands set the standard, and everyone else played catch-up on price, not on engineering ambition. A team showing up having physically driven their own product across 2 continents, then unveiling a body material no competitor in that price bracket could even attempt to match, was a direct challenge to that assumption, and the industry noticed. The Carbonliner 78 stretches 7.84 meters long, with 2 lateral slide-out extensions that expand the living space once parked, automatic hydraulic stabilizers that level the entire vehicle on uneven terrain without any manual adjustment, and a 1,000-watt solar system feeding power to everything inside. The interior includes heated flooring throughout, a rain shower, and a self-managing ceramic toilet system. The story of driving 13,000 kilometers just to stand in front of the European manufacturers who invented this industry and say, effectively, "We're here to compete," is exactly the kind of move that shifts an entire industry's perception. And it worked. The Carbonliner earned attention not just for what it was, but for the sheer confidence behind how it showed up. That same confidence, taken to its absolute furthest possible conclusion, is exactly what sits at number 1. Number 1. The Sierra's Maxus LifeHome V9 Ovilla Edition Theories is the largest automaker in China. When they decided to enter the luxury motorhome market, they didn't sit down and study what European manufacturers were already doing so they could try to match it. They approached the entire problem from a completely different angle. They asked what a motorhome would look like if it were designed with the logic of a building instead of the logic of a vehicle. The result is the V9 Villa Edition, and it earns the number 1 spot on this list, not because of any single standout feature, but because of what happens once you stack everything it does on top of each other and remember that all of it is sitting on 4 wheels. While it's moving, the V90 looks like a sleek, well-proportioned premium motorhome. Nothing about the exterior hints at what's coming. Then it parks, and the transformation begins. Hydraulic side extensions deploy first, and the ground floor expands out to 20 square meters. For a vehicle that just rolled into a campsite, that alone is already a generous, genuinely comfortable living space. Heated floors throughout, smart climate control, premium finishes on every surface. Then the roof begins to rise. The entire upper structure lifts hydraulically, revealing a complete second floor, not a raised ceiling, not a cramped sleeping loft where you can barely sit upright, but a full second story with tempered glass walls on every side, giving you an unobstructed view in every direction from an elevated position above the surrounding landscape. There's a walkout balcony on that second floor. You can step outside, stand above the campsite, and look out across whatever you've parked beside. The glass walls themselves are built using transparent OLED technology. When the screen function is off, they're simply clear glass, and you see straight through them to the outside world. When the screen is switched on, the wall itself becomes a functioning television. There's no separate screen mounted onto a panel, no frame bolted onto a surface anywhere. The architecture of the room is the entertainment system. The same wall you watch the sunrise through in the morning is the surface you watch a film on that same night. And then there's the elevator. Not a folding staircase, not a ladder built into the wall. A fully functioning single-person elevator that connects the ground floor directly to the second floor of the motorhome. It moves quietly, it operates at the push of a button, and it's the only feature of its kind found in any production motorhome anywhere in the world. Every one of these systems on its own would be a headline feature for a competitor. Stacked together into a single vehicle, they stop reading as a list of amenities and start reading as a genuine architectural statement. The kind of ambition normally reserved for a permanent building, applied instead to something that can legally merge onto a highway. No European manufacturer built this. No American manufacturer built this. Ceres did, and priced the entire vehicle at approximately $413,000 in China. Put that number in context. The Marchi Mobil costs $3 million. The Volkner with the Bugatti costs $7.7 million. The V9 Villa Edition, with its full second floor, its OLED glass walls, its walkout balcony, and its working elevator, costs $413,000. That's less than half the price of the Marchi Mobil, and well under a third the price of the Volkner. The V90 isn't just a motorhome that happens to win a features competition against the rest of this list. It's a vehicle that changed the question entirely. Before it existed, engineers designing motorhomes were mostly asking how to make a single-story box feel a little more like a home. After the V90, the question became, how many floors can we actually add? That shift in thinking is what the number one spot on this list actually represents. Not simply the best vehicle here, but the one that changed what every other manufacturer now has to think about next. 9 motorhomes. A rotating cabin from New Zealand built to last 50 years and get passed down through a family. A tractor mechanic from South Carolina who built a vehicle that drives straight into lakes. A Hollywood mansion on 22 wheels with a pop-up private cinema. A German motorhome that carries a Bugatti in its own side garage. A Ferrari designer's vision of a fully electric home that manufactures its own drinking water out of the air. Chinese engineers who drove 13,000 kilometers just to show up and compete on the biggest stage in the industry, and at the very top, a 2-story rolling skyscraper with glass walls, a walkout balcony, and a working elevator. What ties all 9 of these together is the same underlying pattern. Every single one of them started with an engineer refusing to accept the assumed limits of what a motorhome is supposed to be, refusing to treat the category as fixed. A rotating cabin, a working hull, a retractable helipad. None of these existed because someone found a gap in a spec sheet. They exist because someone looked at an entire industry's unspoken assumptions and asked why any of them had to stay true. And there's a pricing pattern worth noticing across all 9 of these, now that you've seen the full list. The most conceptually radical vehicle here, the one with 2 full floors, a working elevator, and OLED glass walls, isn't the most expensive. It's roughly a sixth of the price of the Bugatti-carrying Volkner and a fraction of the hand-built Marchi Mobil. That's not a coincidence. It's a preview of exactly how these features spread from novelty to standard equipment. Not the wealthiest buyer proving a concept is possible, but a major manufacturer proving it can be produced at scale, which is usually the moment an entire industry's baseline expectations shift permanently. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button and subscribe so you're here for the next breakdown. Now I want to hear from you. If you could drive away in any one of these 9 motorhomes right now, which one are you taking and where are you going? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one.